So I'm back in the style guide, and I have to consider now this new module, this navbar, I want to kind of export into other components. How do I put it in there? Well, the answer is actually inside the style guide, where they write if you have stuff that you want to share among different components, you should put in a shared module that you can kind of share it with. Now, in the shared module, it is allowed to put components that you share, it's allowed to put services that you share, and pipes that you share if you have that available. We'll look into that later as well, but let's make a shared module. Now we'll start out by actually just creating a shared module right here, and we'll do that by saying ng generate module, and we'll call it shared. There we go. Now we're going to get a shared module, and if I click up here, you'll see a new folder popping up called shared module. There we go. Now I also want to generate a component in here. That's actually what we came for, so I'll do generate component, and I want to call this the toolbar component, but I needed to get into the shared folder, so I'll just put in shared / in front of the name of the component, right? So there we go. ng generate C and shared toolbar. So we now have our toolbar component available that we can now start using later. So we have to do a few more things. First of all, let's move the code from the app component HTML from this toolbar right here. We want to move the code so it's not static in here. It's going to be put inside the component instead. And I'm going to paste it into the toolbar component right here. There we go. That was step 1. Now the step 2 that I want to do is, notice it says it doesn't know about a mat toolbar in this component because it's now inside the shared modules and not inside the app module. So I need to kind of move the toolbar import, this guy right here. I'm going to move that one from my app module. Let's just get it out of the way right here as well. And I'm going to move it into the shared module like this. There we go. Now I'm doing this just to make it more easier for me to later on split up my modules to make it faster download time for the customer. That's kind of the goal with this. Good. So now that we have that, let's look at what else we have in here. We also have the button, and the button is a mat button as well. So we're also going to need the button module in here inside the shared module. So I'll just make that available as well. Mat button. There we go. Module. There we go. Now we also have the button module available in here. And I'll just keep it inside this guy. I don't want to move from there because I'm going to use the button later on as well. But that's available as well. So now kind of the shared module is ready to share except for one thing. And that is I want to kind of export this component that I just made to the world. So I'll make an export right here. And I'll say I want to share the toolbar component with the world. So there we go. Toolbar component. I want to share that with the world. So whoever uses this module can now start using the toolbar component. And that pretty much just means that if you use this module now, you can add a tag called app toolbar, right? Let's try and do it. So jumping back to my app module and say I want to start using the shared module right here. For now it's going to be in here. And I want to use that shared module inside my app component by actually adding something called the app toolbar right here. There we go. Now we should be back to the beginning actually. Let's try and check out what we have. We have an error. So it says mat toolbar row is not a known element. That sounds wrong. No, it's actually here. So let's just check out if we have to restart or something. I'll just try and do that. Sometimes you might have to do a restart to make things work again. So don't worry about it. It's just a restart. I think that should solve our problem right here. There we go. The tool is back. Everything seems to be running, but we can now start using this tag wherever we want, meaning that we don't have to put it inside our main component. We can start using it inside different components. Like for instance, let's try and move it inside our albums app instead, just for a final test right here. So let's just put that above this small text we have. There we go. And of course now we'll move the shared module from here inside the app module, and we'll move that into our albums module instead, because now we don't need it in the shared module anymore. That should be how easy it is. Let's try and see if this works now. So inside the albums, this guy is still here, but if I go to the root, it's gone. Now why is that good? Because now we can make a login screen without the toolbar, and then we can move to an actual screen with the toolbar. So let me just write albums here again, and there we go. Now we have the toolbar available. Sweet. See you in the next lesson where we'll have even more fun.